Hello everyone, welcome to this live webinar and thanks for joining. I am Santosh, I'll be the host for today's webinar. This is going to be an action-packed 20-minute session and will be highly insightful. This session will certainly change your perception towards data backup. This webinar is going to be a little different as you are introducing a play in the webinar. Yes, you heard it right, a play in the webinar, which will focus on a niche backup solution. This play is an interaction between a common business user using Salesforce with a data insurance agent. How this interaction leads to queries about business problems and its solution is the fascinating part. Before further holding up, I'd like to introduce you to two actors, Sambit, a Salesforce business user, and Harish, a data insurance agent. So though it's a play, it will cover all these interesting areas, topics, and I'm sure the audience will certainly learn and gain some new perspectives. So without further delay, let's the play begin.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Isn't it surprising to have a data insurance agent meeting scheduled with me right now? I have no idea how it's going to be. Even I never heard about a data insurance agent in my life. But since he has been following up for a long time now, I thought of meeting with him for 15-20 minutes. So, hey, hi, Harith, how are you?
Hey Sambit, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. And thank you so much for your time, Sambit. And I'll ensure you won't regret giving this time to me. So, can I quickly ask you a few questions?
Yeah, sure, why not? But please remember, we have only 15 minutes.
Sure. So, to start off, do you have a backup solution in place for your business system?
Backup solution, no. Why do I need one? We are not a very big enterprise. We are a small company.
So, how do you ensure your business is safe?
Well, Harish, we are using the best and most reliable tools in the market, and we are also getting the seamless support from them. What else you want?
But it still didn't answer my question. Let me put it in this way. How do you protect your business?
Our business is for product selling, Harish, and all these tools that you are using, they are supporting us to perform certain work.
Okay, then I would like to know more about the software tools. Probably we can revisit this question later. Let's start from the beginning. Can you please let me know, how long you're in the business and what do your business use Salesforce for?
We are in the business of manufacturing and selling medical equipment since last 10 years or so, and we have been using Salesforce for all our business information for the last 3 to 4 years.
Oh, great to know that you are in the right platform. I would like to share you some statistics here. Salesforce is the global leader in terms of market share for cloud adoption. And with its wide range of solutions and capabilities, it surely is the leading solution provider. Now, are you aware of the application that you use for your business?
Yeah, of course, within our company, my sales, marketing, customer support, and few of the other business teams are using Salesforce.
Oh, wonderful. So I can easily guess with the roles that you're talking about, you would be using some of the solution like the sales cloud, basic sales cloud for the sales team, service cloud, which you might be using from the customer support side, and marketing cloud for your campaign management, and definitely the platform which you'll be using for your business needs. And this is, if you from the statistics perspective as well, from a Salesforce adoption, sales cloud ranks number one, followed by service cloud. Now, since you are part of manufacturing healthcare equipment, but Salesforce as an industry adoption is really great. Whether you talk about financial, whether you talk about manufacturing, retail, non-profit, consumer goods, beat any industry, Salesforce is been everywhere. Now, since you've been using Salesforce for the last 3 or 4 years, are you aware of the type of data that is residing in your Salesforce?
Yeah, mostly we have our day-to-day transactional data in our Salesforce org, and these data are being generated and used by our sales, marketing, service, and other teams. But yeah, Harish, I have one question for you. Can you please tell me a little more about what exactly you meant by the type of data? Can you please elaborate a bit so that I can answer you better?
Sure, love to. When you're talking about the data within the Salesforce, we categorize into multiple areas. Sales data, predominantly used by sales team, and they are actually the people who create leads, opportunities, and customer accounts. Service data is predominantly for your customer service. It's talk about customer cases, the knowledge base, and all the tickets related for the product support. And then business use tableaus and various things for their MIS reports, right? And finally marketing team use for the campaign management, right? So can I assume these are all the information?
Yes, you are absolutely right.
Okay, can we agree, as your business has grown the past years, the data of your business also has simultaneously grown?
Yeah, true. I can't deny that. And Harish, I have seen this as we are growing very fast, particularly in the last 3 to 4 years. I have seen the data also has grown a lot. And to my, I'd like to tell you this. This I have seen in the past that the role and importance of data has also grown very fast.
Oh, so it is evident that with the growth of the business, data also grows, and any software solution that you would have implemented would also have the same data growth.
Okay, but Harish, what are you trying to imply with the data here?
I can prove that the data that is being generated by your team across the organization is very critical for your business. I can say it is the fuel which is making sure the business is running smoothly as well as helping it to grow. For example, take about sales and marketing. It is helping the business, for your business, to generate leads and get more business. In terms of customer service, the more better customer experience you're giving, in turn it is helping you to retain your customers. And for the R&D team, you're using it for project management and able to add new product features. Business leaders use it for the forecasting, budgeting, and planning. So data in various ways is the key element in growing revenue. And if you see here the list of the data points which proves that, we use the data for cross-selling opportunities, pipeline management, forecasting, retention of the customers. So the number of data and the volume of data that you handle is very critical for you to really grow and add it to the revenue part of it. So
Oh wow, I never thought in that way. To be very honest. Yeah, Harish, you said it right. You use many other solutions also, but to be very honest, we never put this kind of perspective.
okay, to summarize, our discussion in a nutshell is data is critical for the business and as well as the revenue. And these are more important for the business for the survival. Now, I can come back to the earlier question. So if data is the critically for the business as well as generating revenue, what do you do to protect this data?
Well, Harish, I told you in the past, like, what will happen to this data? I don't think so. Any data loss will happen. We have been using the best tools, and we are in the safe hands as we have been working with big solution providers.
Okay, it's not about the solution provider, but it's more towards how internally the data is handled. Some of the data use cases that we're talking about is it's not something which is in your control. We talk about software solutions or code that is being developed, and when we put it in the production, sometimes it impact the data. There is somewhere the human error which can accidentally delete some data. Some data overwriting might happen when you're trying to work with it. Then there is a software upgrade which can impact the data, right? And there might be, and these are something which is out of the control of the business, and there would be some glitches which can commonly happen in the world.
Hey, I got your point now. So, Harish, how to prevent this data loss? I'm sure you must have a solution also.
Yes, backup is the solution, right? It is a solution which can help you to make sure that your data is protected. And how
Oh,
important is
yeah.
the type of solution you are using, that is also critical.
Oh, you're talking about backup. Harish, as I told you, we are not a very big enterprise. We are a small business, and I know backup is pretty expensive, And this is also very complex to handle, and we don't have that much of time and resources to manage this entire complex process.
Okay. As you said, this is the typical information generally I get from the business users. Not only this, I'll love to walk you through some of the myths about the backup. People say backup is expensive. Not necessarily the backup is expensive. And if you talk about only for the big enterprises, small, big, it doesn't matter. For any business, their data is critical, their business is important. So you need to have a planning to ensure that the backup is there. There is also a myth saying that it's always a complex and difficult to maintain. Not necessary. With the tools, if you can look forward, there are a lot of simpler solutions which can help you to really have a backup, and then need to maintain it in the future as well as a long term. One thing which I also understand from the customers are, any provider that we go, top level solutions that we take, they always say that 99% of the data is always available. Our solution is always ready for you, the customers. It is true, but then it is not about the data. It is the way, not about the solution provider, as we talked about the data loss part of it, right? So that's something the business owner's responsibility is all about. And some of the questions which comes is cloud backup really secure? Sometimes you have to back up to a third party. So those kind of insecurity questions also come, whether it's reliable. Some says that can we just take a backup of a data once in a month, and then that one copy is enough if there is any challenges that happens. It's not the case. You need to make sure that you're able to have a real critical data available with a specific moment of time. Because if you're not able to bring it back, you are going to lose that particular entire weeks or a day's worth of data. So you need to make sure that you have the latest copy with you available all the time. The big thing as a myth which comes in, sometimes people say backup and archiving is the same. It's not. Backup and archiving are two different set of things, right? Archiving deals with the data which is you already done with. It is the data that you have been used, but then now you are not using it on a transactional basis. Those are the cold data. So when we talk about those archived data, we're talking about how to clear it from the main production and move it to a place which will help you to enhance your business further. But when it comes to backup, we are talking about the real production live data, and you need to make sure that how are you going to back it up and protect it more better, right? So these are the common myths which is related to the data backup.
I got it. So are you trying to tell me that as a small business, we can also have backup solution without much of complexities? That's interesting. And Harish, to be very honest, this is a complete eye opener for me. So can you tell me one more thing? What is the typical cost involved in this complete backup setup?
I wouldn't say cost. Backup is always a premium that you would be paying, and it's definitely not a cost.
Well, what do you mean by the fee?
Like life, just an example, life is valuable, and what we do to ensure that our partners are protected, we generally take a life insurance. Likewise, data is the life for the business, and to secure the valuable life you invest, you need to have an insurance for that. So by paying a small premium, you could insure your $1 million worth of business.
Oh, I got to my friend. I also got the fact that why you call yourself a data insurance agent. I'm pretty sure you must have a backup solution to recommend me also.
Yes, here it is. I would love to introduce our solution, Data Backup. This solution is just the insurance any Salesforce customer can get to protect their critical business data. It does the minimum thing which is required for any business solutions. So with a small premium of $16 per day, you can get a complete data protection, prevent data loss, and more importantly, have a faster recovery solution which is required whenever there is a disaster happening, right? And on the top of it, the very important part is you own your data from day one. If you're introducing the solution, you generally own this data from the start. You're keeping this data with yourself.
Oh wow, only $60 per day. That's great. And I also believe it covers all the major areas and looks pretty interesting. Hari, can you please provide me a little more information about this solution?
Sure, right. So this solution, when you talk about a backup, what you need, the first thing is it should support full and incremental backup. So we ensure that not only full, we support the incremental backup, because when there is a huge volume of data which is available, in some cases it is better to have an incremental backups done during the week to ensure only the changes has been updated and kept it, and then you can run full backup during the weekend. That ensure that you have the right amount of data backup always. Since it is Salesforce, we support standard and custom object, and also any managed package solution. If you have, it also supports that. In addition to that, any application that is built on the platform, those data also we take care of it. Backup, generally you generally want from a business convenience, depending on the way the transaction happens and how frequently the data is updated. You want to schedule the backup in terms of hours or daily or weekly or monthly. Depending on those kind of process, you can also schedule the backup. And a key thing is how fast you can recover this data. Whenever there's a need on certain aspect of the data, some data you need to bring that back, how fast you can recover, that is also very critical. We do that. We help to maintain 5 versions of the backup, which means at any point of time you are dealing with the 5 versions of it. So if you have any challenges with the version 1, at least you can rely on the next 5 as well. And as I initially said, you own this data, which is your backup data. So there is 100% availability to you, and then since you're keeping this critical production data with you, it ensures that it is in safe hands.
Well, you're right. This is what a business needs, an easy backup and a faster recovery. Anything additional is obviously a cost for me. But Hari, to protect my valuable business, I would definitely invest on this premium. And I would like to thank you for this valuable discussion. And I think now is the right time for me to go for this insurance. So Hari, I would like to connect with you offline. And thank you so much for this entire session.
You're welcome. So, Samvit, as I told you, you won't regret giving me your time.
Thank you for this interaction, and most importantly, thank you everyone on this live session and for your time. I hope you are able to connect in some way to the real need of data backup solution for any business. This is our first webinar on data backup for this year, and we would be going deeper in the next webinar, wherein we would be walking you through the capabilities, features, and real-time use cases. For now, these are a few links that talks in depth of the solution, which I would like to share it with everyone after this webinar. For Salesforce, yes, data backup is right suited and it's available in the App Exchange. We will be more than happy to get into a demo call with anyone interested to know more. Please drop an email to sales@databackup.com and schedule your demo today. So now we are open for any Q&A. We will be talking a few questions. Any other questions that are not covered due to lack of time would be taken offline and would share those details with you. Thank you so much for your time for today for the webinar. So now Harish will answer some of the questions that were sent to you sent to us during the live session. Hey Harish, so we have some questions from the attendees. Can you please answer them? The first question is from Rosalind, and she's asking, will you cover data archive on later webinars?
Yes, data archive, it's a separate webinar where we talk about archiving to big object and multiple other cloud solutions like Azure platform, Heroku, on-prem. It's those webinars we conduct, in a different sessions. This was specifically for backup. I'll be more than happy to share those webinar details once we are conducting. And I guess marketing would be doing something in the next month.
All right. Thank you, Harish, for the answer. The next question is from Sebastian. He's asking, you mentioned the pricing would be $16 per day. How that works?
Generally, any solutions which is there in the app exchange. There are two models that is available for the customers. One is a user-based model and one is org-wide model. Our solution data backup is an org-wide model, and it starts with the base price of $500 per month, and that comes to around $15-16 per day. And that's what we are talking about, the pricing in that aspect.
All right. Thanks for the clarification, Harish. So another questions came from the attendees named Sharon, and the question is, what storage option do you support?
We are currently supporting AWS for the data backup. In the future, we are coming up with Azure platform as well, to make sure that that platform again will be owned by the customer itself. So you just need to configure that, and once the configuration is done, you can just schedule all those backups, and it just stores in this platform. So currently, we are supporting the AWS.
All right. So Harish, the thing is, what is the recommended for storage, recommended storage for data backup?
It doesn't matter in terms of recommended storage. It depends on the solutions that we are offering. It can be, if you are a bigger business, it can be on-prem. That's what we see from our archiving standard, where we are offering so many options to the customer that they can choose any of the storage. So we want to make sure that whichever customers are comfortable in terms of what they are currently using for their business, they can just extend it for their archiving or backup needs. So likewise, there is no specific recommendation as well as such, but then if our application is able to support those things, it can be on-prem, it can be cloud, it can be anything which generally a customer feels comfortable. But currently, since our application is right now only supporting the AWS, which gives a very good cost advantage as well in terms of storing. We use not the data, we don't store it as a database, so we storing it as a files, so that it's a negligible amount in terms of your investment for those storage comes into place. So if it is a database, you're going to use that amount of GB, which you need to ensure that there is also a cost involved on maintaining and keeping those database. But if it is a file system, the cost drastically come down for the future as well.
All right. Thank you, Harish, for the answer. So this is going to be a last question for the day, as we are running short of time. However, I could see many more questions. We'll definitely get back to you over an email. We are extremely sorry. So the last question is from Andrew, and he's asking, do you take care of file backup as well?
Yes, not with the data backup. Yes, data backup predominantly only works for data within your business. If you want to have a file backup also, we also have another solution called X-Files Pro, where we can merge together to have the data as well as the file backup application.
All right. Thanks, Harish.
I
So,
see one more question which is there. Maybe I can just also take that before we close it. Just talk about what are the requisites for data backup app, right? So prerequisites, very simple. If you have any enterprise org, it works, the solution, and you just need to make sure that you procure the Amazon the instance and what we need for to run those to run the system where you can pull the data and put it in the AWS. So AWS prerequisites are there, and probably maybe you can also go to our website. Even the collaterals are there. It can tell you the details about it. Or if you're not able to get it, you can also send us an email. We will be more than happy to share the specific details that is required for the data backup app to be installed.
okay. Thank you, Harish. And thanks again, Harish and Sambit, for a wonderful play. I'm sure many people would have connected with this story here. So it was a pleasure to have you both. So this concludes the webinar, and thank you for attending, and stay tuned for the next session.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.